Yo, man. So you want to jump higher, you want to run faster, you want to get better at basketball, you want to get a scholarship, move on, maybe play pro, maybe basketball is your ticket to see the world. It could be. Well, this video is about how to train for athleticism and specifically jumping, I guess, if you're into that, while you sleep. And this is a real thing. So, first thing I'll say is sleep is very, very important. Notice how when you get a lot of sleep, you feel good and refreshed, and your legs feel good, and when you don't get any sleep, you feel tired as hell, and it's hard for you to operate, whether you're in work, school, or training, or on the basketball court, whatever. I mean, I don't need to tell you that sleep is important, but for whatever reason, we get to thinking from society that if we sleep a lot, we're lazy. If I gotta wake up really, really early to get to the gym or whatever. Well, if you don't get enough sleep, your training is just shit. That's just the way it is. Sleep's the highest priority, really. Sleep, diet, super high priority. So what that means is, if you're in school or you got a 9 to 5 or something, it's gonna be tough. You gotta find time to sleep, whether it's the weekends or whatever, but that's really gonna be important for physical growth and for training growth. So those are things to think about. Yeah. So also very important for sleeping is the mental rehearsal that goes in. So like whatever you think about, and you probably noticed this, the hour before you go to sleep, you tend to dream about. Whoever you talk to in your last hour, they're more likely to be in your dreams. If you're dreaming that you're putting up jumpers, you're going to be putting up jumpers in your sleep. If you're thinking about dunking all night before you're falling asleep, you're going to be practicing dunking while you're sleeping. And that's good because you're getting real fucking work done in your sleep, working on dunking, right? Because you can focus that. I mean, the mental rehearsal is the same thing as physical rehearsal. If you have the muscle memory or whatever, you don't need to be on the court to practice jumping. You can visualize it and it's a real thing. So there's that. So important for recovery, really big for mental processes, and the last thing I'm going to talk about is kind of sleep as a workout. First of all, sleep is a workout. Your body does not shut off. Your body still moves. You're still breathing. You can think of it as it's similar to yoga. You're in various poses for long, extended periods of time, and then you move between those poses. So if your poses are shit, it's going to cut into your gains, and if your movement between poses are shit, it's going to cut into your gains too. Does that make sense? So, first thing I'll talk about is natural sleeping. There's a fly in the room. Kind of how tribes people sleep. You know, like humans before a bunch of pillows and beds and stuff. So this is basically the way it works. I'll get an angle so you guys can see. This is my bed. Let's get all this junk off. We don't need it. This is how humans have been sleeping for 10,000 years or whatever. How 100,000. However long humans have been around. Let's see if we can point it at me. Various sleep positions. No pillows, just flat ground. Like this on your front, right? Keeps my spine straight. I don't need a pillow because my face is on my hands. Straight spine. Can sleep on my back. Don't need a pillow. Head is on my hands. I really don't need a pillow for this position. And then here's the side sleeping position. This is how tribes people sleep. Something like this, right? I don't need a pillow either because my head is on my hands. And again, for all these, my spine is straight, my head is straight up on all these, and that's going to be really good for growth, and it's just going to be good for training, because these are poses that you're not going to wake up hunched over, right? You're going to wake up with a straight body. So these are poses you should think about sleeping in. If you're not comfortable in them, well shit, man. Do you want to, achieve your dreams or whatever, right? I mean, if you want to throw a pillow in between your legs, do that. You can do this too, whatever you want to do, but you got to keep that in mind. Also, we'll talk about, those are the main poses. Talk about movement between poses. This is where you actually have an opportunity to injure yourself, especially your shoulders. So like you got to be aware of this. You'll be more aware of it in the early mornings. The last couple hours of your sleep tend to be lighter, and you can be more aware of your movement during those. So the way that a lot of people will move in their sleep sometimes is really like, you know, jerky, you know, whatever, jerky, and then that is an issue of like there's impacts in between your poses, especially rolling up into your shoulders. So you gotta be semi-conscious of this when you're sleeping. You want controlled movements, right? You want to have controlled movements between your poses because that's gonna be functional movements that save you from getting injured because you're going to have to move between poses because your arms are going to fall asleep or whatever. Does that make sense? So those are some things to think about. The things to think about are 1, sleep's really important, get as much as you can. 2, use sleep as a time for mental rehearsal, whatever you want to work on, whether it's shooting jumpers or getting dunks. And 3, sleep is a physical workout, so pay attention to your poses and your movement in between poses because those are really going to affect what kind of damage you do to your body in your sleep or work you need to do to undo your sleeping. If you're like, sleeping poses are messed up, you know, you could be coming out like this in the mornings. But you want to keep your spine all straight up, your vertebra nice and straight and strong. So that's how to train your athleticism and specifically to jump and to dunk in your sleep. And if you focus on this, you're going to see gains.